me that was racist, and that was using. So he had to sever the friendship to win the lawsuit. And someone said, "Did they win those lawsuits?" Well, in Pierce is here. These cases don't go to
John,
court.
they don't go to
They don't
court.
go to court. They settle
John,
out.
what happens is that John, and this isn't just a specific or racial. Dude, as I said before, the masters of workers' comp are white people. Okay,
Mhm.
John. Like I have been in companies before where literally there are people that go around industries that get hurt, get hired, get hurt, threaten to sue, get a settlement, don't work for a year, repeat every year. Okay, that's how they live their lives. They'll get a settlement for 50, 60 grand every year,
But
and then they'll go.
the thing is, you can weed that out though.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying. But what I mean is, this is like what they do.
Right,
Like they
right.
literally will do this like 8, 9, 10 times throughout a 20-year period,
Yeah.
and that is how they'll make their living through. They won't work. They'll just go to a job, find a way to pretend to get hurt, or find a way to cause any kind of issue that it's cheaper to pay them than to go to court. John, I mean, like, look at. I mean,
Well,
just
answer that question for me. I'm not sure what a period. I know the word, but I'm not sure. Period. Is it like a hollow picture? What does that mean? Period. I don't want to look it up. I don't want to cheat. What does that word?
I think it just means. God, it's early, but I think it just means like it's a inform like it's a victory, but it doesn't really affect anything larger than yourself. It's like a isolated. I think it's something like that. God, I too early. I can't remember the word, but
Yeah, tell us what that is. Does pay for play only happen in black?
no, it happens with everyone. What do you think, Aaron Andrews? What do you think? How do you think Megyn Kelly got to the top? How do you think? Look at all those lawsuits at Fox News.
What is he talking about? Pay for play. What is he talking about?
Well, pay for play, as in like if you pay. I mean, access is for what you give. I mean, everything. John, this is a pretty.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
John,
I'm not sure why he asked me that question about black commentators. What's he referring to? I'm not sure what he's referring to.
I was just. I mean, if he's bringing that up, I just think he means. You know what I mean? So I look at John. All I'm saying is this. I think. Look, there are people that use the empathy and sympathy of others to live their life off of.
Yeah, well, that's sure.
And I think, and John, that's the thing. We've now come, John, I don't care what color you are. This is a universal thing that we now have more people that just sit around sucking the life out of people who do shit.
Hey, tough
Like,
guy. Hold on, tough guy, Leonard. You know anyone that's ever sued anyone for a racial claim?
Yeah, I have.
You have? You sued someone for a racial claim before?
Yeah,
Did you win?
I'm in the midst of it right now, actually.
Oh no, shit.
But
What are you
it's
suing for?
actually the state picked it up because well, they did a lot of that. They did a lot of shit though. So it was like
What
workers'
is it employment?
compensation and some other shit. They sending me to like doctors and all type of shit.
What, you got
But
hurt? But what's the racist element of it?
well, I hurt my back a little bit, but they also they did a lot of stuff that you can't do. Basically, they made me do a whole bunch of work and then give me a title, and then hired somebody else and made me like train them. And I complained about it, and it was retaliation because I told them about that, and they fired me. And
And
I
you
have been working for them. I have been doing everything for them. Like also, I had a contract with cleaning because I've been doing custodial work since I was young, so I always had like an extra business with that. I always had like a cleaning business, and I was doing that. I had a contract with them too, and so I was doing everything in this place, running it because basically I worked in fabrics and textiles, and I was running the warehouse, and we used to sell to Joanne and shit like that. So
but
the
what is
company
the
I was
racial?
working,
Hold on. What's the racial component?
there was no black people there. I was the only black guy there, and matter of fact, I was the only man there. So the dude that hired me, he stopped showing up and I took over and then they didn't hire anyone else. So it was two people in the warehouse when I got there. And then when he stopped showing up, this white dude, I just kind of took over and he did that for like a month when I first started. Maybe within 90 days of me working there, he did that and then they let him keep his job and then he did it again recently, and then
I mean, he did
basically
what?
I
He
remember.
did what?
You
Wait,
remember I showed you the warehouse, John. You remember that? You don't
yeah, but
remember that?
wait,
I was
wait,
working.
yeah, hold on, don't get off track. He did what? What did he do? I missed that part.
Where was I at?
You said he did something 90 days. What did he do? And
Oh,
then,
okay, so the guy that hired me,
mm-hmm.
basically he when I first started working there within 90 days, he stopped showing up for like a
so he,
month.
so
So
he
I
quit.
all
All
the
right.
work that basically I had to learn and
So you had to
do
do his job.
everything.
Right. You do everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
All right. All
I
right.
was doing his job and my job,
All right. That's
right?
everything. Got it.
And
Right.
so he came back and they let him keep his job, right? Because we didn't know what really was up with him. We
Okay.
thought
So
maybe he was sick.
he
But
came
he
back.
pulled the shit again.
Okay. Then he left
He
again.
pulled yeah,
Okay.
the white dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he did the shit again. And then they let him keep his job though. This is why another reason why they getting sued because they let him keep his job even though he didn't show up for over a month. And so for like 3 months, they still had shit. They still had his desk and everything, and they didn't give me anything. I basically complained like, "Hey man, y'all got to pay me more money," which they did. They gave me $1 more than what I asked for, so we was cool. I thought we was cool, right? But it was like a big transition going on and everything, and I was like looking to get that main position because I had been working my ass off to get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he just hired somebody else and said that they had more leadership experience. And I had been running everything, but he wanted me to train him how to do everything. He didn't even know shit. But just because he had
So wait a minute. You had
certain
to train the guy
skills,
that they hired. Wait a minute. You had to train the guy that they hired.
yeah, basically, I had to train the guy that they hired. But I complained within in the first week and a half because so I had remember I told you I cleaned the buildings, and on that Friday night we were wrapping a pallet. So like you have to have labels on the outside and you have to wrap it correctly so you know what you're sending and how much it is and all that stuff, right? Because there's an actual order that you put on there, especially like with shipping and stuff like that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so basically this motherfucker just put everything on a pallet and wrapped it up. Didn't put no labels, didn't do nothing. So I was pissed when I came in on the weekend because I was cleaning the building. So I I I unwrapped it and then I was pissed, right? But when I came in on Monday, I talked to him, politely, and I said, "Hey man, this is how you do it." I showed him how to do it, and then after I did that, I complained. I wrote an email and I talked to the boss and I was like, "Look, if y'all are gonna have me doing extra work, y'all need to be paying me to be training this motherfucker." Because I was irritated already, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like y'all ain't give me the position, and I wanted more money, anyway, especially if y'all gonna be having me train this motherfucker that don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so basically that's what basically happened. I complained and he retaliated. He fired me immediately. It wasn't no nothing. Basically, like I was expendable. That's why
But
I don't really like
what did
working
they
for
say?
people or jobs. I'd rather
But you,
work for myself.
but you said they said it was a leadership thing.
He said that basically he had 3 years of leadership experience. He was a manager at the other job that he came from. Um, but basically he didn't know shit about fabrics or our product or how the warehouse rent because the
Well,
way things are set up, it's like a in and out thing. You got to know how like if a truck comes in, you got to know how to take the shit off the truck. You got to know where it goes. Like it's a lot of shit that it's an intricate
Do you, so do- so
you know,
what part of you
daily thing when you're in a warehouse. You know what I
hold
mean?
on. So what
Go ahead.
part of you getting hurt has to do with your lawsuit?
Well, I used to lift boxes of, that stuff. And one day I did have stopped work because I was like, hey man, my back hurt. So when I was doing the lawsuit, they were asking me, did I get hurt or whatever? And then I was like, yeah, one day I had a back thing. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they were like, well, we're going to send you to a doctor. It was the state that sent me. So basically, it's workers' compensation and all these like lawyers and
it's the
shit.
it's the California EEOC. Equal
Oh,
Employment Opportunity.
Yes. There you go. That's their name.
so
Yeah.
Imperious, you're pretty serious then, right?
Imperious knows.
Yeah,
He knows every
I've
fucking
dealt with
thing.
this before. Yeah, I remember I do corporate. Yes, I have one of my places in Cal. Yes.
But he was wrong though, Imperious. I busted
Oh,
my ass, but
no. What it
you
looks,
know
it sounds like is
he
unequal. What I would claim, I would assume would be the claim would be unequal treatment, some kind of retaliatory,
it
and
was
some kind of
retaliation.
yeah, and some kind of unequal treatment like claim
Yes,
because remember
because
in
there was no
California.
black people working at this company
Well, and
whatsoever.
yeah, it's not just that, but that's not what they're going to go after. What they're going to go after is why did they have a guy? What does it have to do with you and getting rid of you that the guy had this much experience? That's his job. Why did they let you go? Because they hired a different guy for a different position with different skills. So that would be the question of why there may be a retaliatory issue because why if they were having you train the guy would they fire
Hmm.
you immediately after a complaint? You got
Exactly.
there has to be human resource
No, but
process.
he said in my what is it called, the termination papers or whatever, it says that I was insubordinate, that I did not help the
Exactly.
team, that
That's what I'm
I
saying. Yeah.
wasn't. He flipped it on me though. He lied basically and said that
Well, yeah, and
I
that's what they're
wasn't.
going to do
But this is the
discovery
whole
on.
thing. I had, let's say in January it was the 6th. I got fired on the 15th. I remember because basically on the 6th he came in the new year, right? Because I had been doing everything since October by myself. And so January 6th, he came in. I knew he was going to be my boss, my supervisor. So I took that very serious and I tried to train him and show him everything. But remember, I cleaned the building. So on Friday, when I came in, I told him to leave it alone and don't do nothing and wait till Monday so I could show them how to do it. What did this motherfucker do? Just stack shit on the goddamn shit and
Hey,
wrap it. And I
let
had to
me,
redo all the
hey,
shit.
let me ask you
You
this
understand what
question.
I'm saying? So that shit pissed me
Hey,
off.
hey,
Well, there's two separate issues.
hold on. Let me ask you this
But
question.
I came at him politely though. I came at him
Hold on.
politely. I
You
showed him
don't
how
hear
to
me?
do it correctly,
Do
and
you hear
then
me?
I complained.
Do you hear me talking? You've already said that. Hey,
Yeah, I can now. My bad. Go ahead.
how did you feel about knowing that he was going to be your replacement?
I did not like it.
What part of it didn't you like? Like, tell me how you
That
felt
I
about it.
put in all this fucking work. I cleaned the buildings. Not only it was on not only the building that I worked at, he had two companies. I cleaned his other building too.
Do you think that affected your like your interactions with the people at work? You know, knowing
What specifically are you speaking about? What
like,
It
let me
creates
give
a
you
hostile work environment, is what he's saying.
let me give
yes.
you an example of what no, let me give you an example of what I mean, right? Because
Yes,
this
it
shit happened.
definitely was. I'm the only black dude there. I'm the only man there. There was in the company that I
Hold on,
worked at with
let
the
me tell you,
fabrics.
let me tell
I'm
you
the
what
only
happened.
man, the only guy in the warehouse. I
Let
did
me,
every fucking thing
I know you're repeating yourself now. You told us that before. What I'm
because
saying
that
is,
shit pissed me off, nigga. It ain't happened to
don't repeat it.
you.
The audience don't need to hear it but once. But what I'm saying is that, like, I filled in for a guy who, a lady that was going on maternity leave, or she was leaving the company or something. So I was more or less like filling in. I liked the job. I wanted to do it. I got to deal with companies, banks, counterparties. I didn't get the job. They ended up hiring somebody. So that person that they hired, I had to work with and train. And it does make you feel a certain kind of way, like, damn, I was doing this shit, and that nigga brought somebody else in.
Yeah, you know what kills me
You just
is
have to
because
get
I
over it.
asked him. I said, "What were the numbers like when I was doing this by myself?" He didn't even want to answer nothing. He just fired me, told me to get out. And the thing is, I tried to have a conversation, and he was like, "Don't make." He's like, "Do I need to get you removed?" I was like, "Removed? Like, damn! Like it's like that." I was like, "Man, you know what? It ain't that deep.
Wait,
Peace."
can I ask you? You may not feel comfortable saying, but did you raise your voice at all?
No, dog. I said this is retaliation. I said this is why I record everything. This is retaliation. I really didn't appreciate that. And he
Wait,
said, he
wait,
said,
wait,
"Do I need to have you removed?" He said, "Everything is on the paper."
Yeah, Jesus Christ, is this like a recording or something? Hold on for a second. So, at what point? And because see, we got Imperius up here. He's a lawyer. I don't know these things, but at what point did you mention to him that you were recording everything?
I record. Well, I told him the first time The
No, I'm talking
first
about, no,
time.
no, I'm talking about when he
So
fired. No, no, no.
it
Listen.
was the retaliation basically
No, no,
when
no.
I
Hold
told
on,
them,
hold on, King. Hold on. Listen to me. When he fired you, did you tell him you were recording him?
yes,
Okay, okay.
yes.
So, at what point did you tell him that you recording it? Was this before or after he fired?
I told the general manager that he just made a general manager because this is the whole thing. Nobody was in that building, bro.
Tell me. And what?
You have to know all the
No,
details
no,
to
no,
understand what I'm saying, though.
no, I don't. Please just listen. Please just try to answer the question. He said, "Hey, tough guy, you're fired." At what point did you say, "Hey,
Well,
I'm
he didn't
recording"?
say that. He didn't say you're fired. He said he had me come into an office.
In Christ, man. Okay, I don't know what he said, but you know what?
What? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet, John.
Okay, he's at some point he tell you you're relieved of your duties, correct? That's a yes, correct? Or no, right?
Obviously, John.
Okay. Now, did you tell him that you were recording him before or after he told you you were relieved of his duties?
When I came in, now you gotta listen.
Just tell me
So he
before.
said,
Can you just tell me
"God damn it, John!
if you can just tell
You
me
want me to
before,
answer it your way, but you need to listen to me.
because that's a
You
very
asking me a question,
no. But look, tough guy, we got an audience. You're not talking to me on the street where we can just have a long, prolonged
but
conversation.
you not listening when I'm trying to explain or when I'm trying to answer your question. You don't want you keep interrupting me.
That's right, because I need to like you're not just talking to me on the street. I need you to remove your reframe your mind to we talking to
No,
me.
everybody is different. You can't make me be like you,
If you
nigga.
can't do it, if you can't do it, I understand.
Just I don't,
Because
no,
all
no. Just ask me a question. I'll answer it, but don't interrupt me when I'm trying to answer.
I'm gonna have to interrupt you because I can't let you go on for 30 seconds when all I want to know is before or after. And it doesn't matter to me. I just want to know the answer. When he told you,
Wild, wild,
okay,
wild.
okay, so he's giving you the lay down and you say, hey man, I'm recording everything.
No, I told him when we walked into the room, I said I'm recording this.
Okay, so when you're walking into the room, did you know you about to be relieved of your job?
I was like about 80% sure because why are you bringing me into a meeting right when I need to go? It was right around the time I need to leave.
Gotcha. Okay. So at that point you
So
say,
so I worked the whole day
right. So at that point you
on
say,
Wednesday. It was a Wednesday. It's the
so,
15th of January.
so you work the entire day. They bring you in the end of the day and say, "Hey, man, thank you for your 4 days of work. This be your last day here, basically."
He said yes. He said I'm going to be terminating you
Right?
for insubordination
Insubordination.
and not doing what we need you to do as far as helping the team.
Okay,
We
so
wanted you to train somebody, and you were asking for more money. That's what he's basically saying. He
okay,
said
so
that he said that I was insubordinate, basically,
in what way were you insubordinate? In what way did
because
they?
he's saying
I'm not saying
this is
you
the whole
were. I'm just
thing.
yeah.
It wasn't true because I had been training the motherfucker since the sixth,
Right.
so it don't make no sense.
But what did they say you were insubordinate? I'm just curious. Like I'm not saying you don't have to.
Again, listen, John, listen.
You just weren't training,
They
but
said that I was insubordinate for not helping the team, not being a team player, and cross training someone new.
gotcha.
That's
Uh,
what they said. That's
yeah,
what's on the paper.
yeah. Damn. Damn.
It's bullshit.
This is real complicated law usually. See, I mean, the EEOC is
I don't know.
involved.
I don't know anything about this. Yeah, I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
but once the EEOC is involved, like it's worse for the company because now the state is
Exactly.
it's the state's involved. It's not
Yes.
a private party. It's now the state and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
state can fine them with all kind and not just that, but John, once the state is involved, he's fine. Like he's going to be taken care of.
Like, let me ask you this
I'm
question.
good.
Let me ask you this question, Pierce. Um, eh, I don't know. I don't need you to tell me. I'm not asking, but there seemed to be that there might be a point. Like, if the state's going to get involved, no company wants the state involved. right? With HR matters, I would imagine.
He better settle. I got to do my deposition on the 16th.
Right.
My deposition is on the 16th.
And so it would seem like in a state like California, like you terminate somebody, you either
It's
lose
an
it.
at will state though. They can just fire you if they just want to. But
Yeah, that's
he
what I'm saying.
did
It's kind of complicated,
retaliation.
but this seems like a little. There's too much nuance here that a company could see itself being exposed to liability here. That's the
Yep.
issue. This specific situation is not cut and dry like 95-97% of employment matters are. There seems with the timeline to be some type, maybe possible retaliation, possible unfair equal treatment, and then you insinuate race because he's the only black guy, and the state's just going to get involved for political reasons.
Really.
Oh,
So,
John,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Hold on. So
And I was the only man. So y'all don't understand. I'm not only the only black guy, I'm the only man. So all the girls are like, can
okay,
you do this for me? And can
okay,
you do that for me? Please, can you reach this? Can you carry this?
no, we're not gonna do that. Right? You've already told you.
I'm just saying, bro. It was you
Don't
don't
just.
understand. I'm the only motherfucker there. So if I have lunch
Yeah.
and there's something coming in, do you know that you cannot do that? You cannot
Right.
interrupt my breaks or my lunch, bro.
I got you.
They did that.
Okay, so they interrupt your race. Okay, so let me ask you this question. So, the state,
Imperious. What
Jesus,
what happens if you interrupt an employee's breaks or lunch?
Yeah, that's a big deal in California.
so in this case, the state is like taking your case, so you don't
Yeah,
have
the
like,
state is now your prosecutorial attorney.
wow,
Yes, nigga, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
wow, wow, that's.
I got this
Hey,
I got a case manager, nigga,
hold on,
through
hold on, wait,
EEOC, nigga.
hold on,
When they reached out to me, I was
hold
like,
on,
they're
hold on.
done.
Hold on. Is it like this in every state, or is it?
No. It's got
Like
that's
California, baby.
California.
Oh, wow,
That's why a lot of companies, it's so hard, and the liability insurance in California is so high that so many companies move it. Not saying that his situation is wrong. I don't know the specific facts, but you do remember being in California. I'm based out of California, even though I don't work there. That's where I was hired, so I'm a California employee. When I go to California and I have to actually deal with it there? Oh, John, it is. Everything is so much more nuanced and so much liability is so much higher, John. Like everything is higher in California. Why companies just leave because it's just easier to just get up and leave than deal with the state always breathing down your neck for everything.
I would imagine so, considering that you
Like
got.
I'm not saying whether it's that kind of situation is not needed for a racial issue or for because John, like, look, John, honestly, I don't know the company, but it sounds like he was hired by an Asian dude because I've heard of it, and I'm not trying to be but
No,
Asian.
I got hired by the white dude. It was a
Okay,
white dude that, but
interesting.
he had substance abuse problems. He was
Okay.
drinking
What
and
I
he
was
wouldn't
saying is
come into
I've seen a
work.
lot of in the textile industry. I've read about like a lot of sweatshops that Asians have run in California, especially out of like the garment district and downtown and stuff where they do
It's
this
mostly
kind of stuff.
Hey,
Spanish people.
hold on. Wait a minute. Who did you? Oh, yeah. That's okay. So this next. Who are you working for? Black, white, Hispanic,
It was
Asian?
a white man,
He said a white
and
dude. Yeah.
he had a girl. She was looking good too, but she was. I never really talked to her because she was pretty, and then I had to work. So if I don't do that, like you know what I'm saying. But she ran everything. She spoke Spanish. She was bilingual.
Damn.
And
Hey,
then the guy that came in, he
And,
was a
and I'm
white dude.
wondering, John, if
hold
there's
on,
not
hold
an illegal employment issue.
Both of the managers
on.
that he had in that
Mhm.
position were white. He didn't want me in that position.
See, there's the
And
racial issue. If he has
you know
evidence of
what?
that, John.
Innate ways might have a point because you know those women, these are white ladies and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want me to be their boss because that's what I would be. Y'all know that, right?
Well, and not just that, but hold on, John. What the issue is here is the insinuation of that is enough to have the EEOC put pressure on one single judge to write a warrant for discovery, John. And then you have to pull every email,
Right.
every document. And if
Right.
there's any sniff that they were fucking with him because of race, their company could be shut down, John.
Yeah.
Like that's the issue. That is what the problem is. John. It's not even that they'd even let's say they didn't do it, but to be exposed and have all your internal documents, your internal HR
Yes,
being
all the
sniffed.
staff is white, nigga.
No,
Everybody's
I'm not.
white or
No. Hold on.
Mexican.
No. What I'm saying is, let's just say they're not racist. Let's just say they're not. I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying, and imagine their words, they're not. just having the state rifle through your documents and your HR records, it's like when the IRS or you're under federal surveillance or investigation, that even if they don't get you on one thing, there's odds are they're going to get you on something if they're pulling
Yeah,
through every
yeah,
document that you do, everything that you
But
do.
Imperious, you know
but
what's
that's why
funny is they're not the ones that hired me. The guy that got fired hired me. Y'all know that, right?
the guy
So
that
the
got
dude
fired.
that stopped showing up,
Oh,
the
he hired.
dude that had a substance problem, and they let him keep his job that was white. The nigga still was on payroll. The nigga still had his job
But hey,
for
but hold on. But shit, they probably
until
are.
they hired that other guy. That that
Hold
nigga
on.
still had a job. They was trying to get him to come back.
Didn't I tell you to hold on? But there probably are some laws, I would imagine, if you got a substance abuse problem, you may tell. What's the
No, in
law?
California, that's a protected health. That's a
I
protected
thought
class in California. In
correct.
California, if you fire somebody or anything in regards to their
Right.
substance abuse or retaliate, that's illegal in California.
Right. So just because he was leaving and coming back doesn't mean that he just left and came back. He may have said, "Hey, I'm on drugs now," and then that opens up
He
the.
probably went on FMLA, John. He went on FMLA,
Very
probably.
well could have, yeah, very well could have.
Well,
And so,
they terminated him. They did terminate him.
Well, if he was drunk on the job, he probably came back drunk or something, or they suspicioned and they fired his ass. That they can do.
No, he just never showed up.
Okay,
Literally,
well there
but
you
he,
go.
just
Okay,
no, hold on.
yeah.
No,
He abandoned his job basically. You know what I mean? Like he
no, hold on. He abandoned his job. Tough guy took over doing his job. Then he came back and assumed his position. Correct. And then he
the first
abandoned
time, the first time, yeah.
right, and
It
then
was like a month. He did like three and
right,
a half
right,
weeks where he
right,
didn't show up
right, and then he abandoned the job again.
and then when Tough Guy
again.
said one thing, they got rid of him. Didn't try. Look, what it shows is discriminatory or favoritism because this guy who's white, they
Hold
let
on.
come back.
And then
Okay,
they
go ahead.
hired another white guy too.
Right. So they hired someone in the interim between while this guy was gone on his binge. They hired someone, correct, for Tough Guy to train, right?
Yes, and they made me train him, and I just shut the fuck up and I did it for a week.
So let me ask you this question. So the other guy that went on the binge, he's fired too, right?
No,
Oh,
yo, yeah.
yeah.
He got fired. Yeah,
Both of
because
y'all are
they
fired,
basically said he abandoned his job. Nothing about substance abuse or anything like that.
right? Yeah,
It was more so like you didn't show up, nigga. Like you know
okay,
what I mean?
so the
No
first
call,
time,
no show.
hold on. So the first time it may have been a substance abuse thing, or maybe they just maybe been a substance abuse thing. The second time
We
he
thought
just
he was sick. We thought
right.
he was sick. Like he was
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Oh,
usually
I
what
hurt my
happens.
back
Is
and
someone,
all that," and that's
yeah.
what we really thought. We
Right.
thought he hurt his back.
Well, hold on. Yeah. But that's the thing that they couldn't tell you, right? If he had a substance abuse problem, it would be against the law for them to tell you,
Right.
right?
That's true.
And so the
Yeah.
second time around, he just may not have called him, and they said, okay, well, now we can fire him for cause because he didn't call and or do the FMLA I'm on drug thing. But it seemed like they fired two people, you and the other guy, and they
Well, that's
replaced.
one of the reasons I feel like they fired me too, is because he hired me. You
Okay,
know what I
and
mean?
the other guy that they hired, so they hired one guy to replace two. Have they hired anyone else to replace?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
was curious if you knew. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything else after I left that day because of especially how he came at me like, do I need to get you removed? Just because I was trying to ask him like, why are you
And I'll just tell
terminating
you
me?
this: be
Like,
very careful about tape. It's a two-party consent state in California, so be careful when you're doing that because two parties need to consent, not just know about it. They have to consent to it. Number one. Number two. I think the issue here, John, is simply that there's too much. There's too many questions here. So, John, the state's involved now, and the problem is once the state's involved, you're up shit's creek because John, now you've opened yourself up to every state agency. How do you know now they're not going to investigate their books, their financials, John?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like John, there's all kind like because it's never one thing. John, for example, when you're targeted for under an when the Fed sends you a letter of targeting of investigation or you're under a investigation, that doesn't just mean that they're going through this one thing. It means they're going through your entire life of something you've done. And nobody's perfect, John. Every business, John, you know this. Every business cuts corners.
Oh man, shit, man. I don't need anybody digging through
He
my.
definitely does.
John.
And he's
So
cheap
and
as
these
fuck.
big businesses are no different, John.
Bro,
That's why you get fines for hundreds of millions of dollars because they forget to file this or don't do that.
Let me explain. You know, I explained to them earlier in periods like in these inner cities, man. You know, one of the reasons why I'm so hesitant about putting people in these places is because if it goes bad, there's so few lawyers that will advocate for a landlord. I mean, like shit, man. They don't want to be
Yeah,
targeted,
tenants have more rights.
right?
Like
But
in DC and New York, you'll be firebombed now.
right, you could get firebombed. You have to understand, like you could get killed, and so you know the one time I've been down there. Well, I've been down there a couple times just with friends, or you know, one time a guy sued me, and so I go down there, and one of the things you realize is that it's either mom and pop landlords trying to defend themselves against poor people who get a free lawyer, a Georgetown lawyer or a GW lawyer that's getting some hours or whatever the hell they do. And then it's big management company lawyers. And so you see the disadvantage there. And like, again, if you understand the way it works, I'm sure that Imperius walks in there, he's a lawyer for a law firm. The judge going to get him in and out. All his cases, you sitting
It's a
there.
business, John. It's just a mill. It's just in and out. What do you want to do here, counselor? Do you want to extend? Do you want to file this? What do you want to do?
And then Imperius meets up with the judge after the fact. They go out to dinner.
Or the other counsel, usually the other counsel.
Right. But at some point, they're going to meet up with the judge. He's going to say, thank you for calling my cases fast. So I get the hell out of here and leave these twits waiting on me that can't afford to pay for a lawyer. That's the way I would imagine, you know, just by thinking that's the way it works, right? And Pierce is not going to be forced to sit there to be called last, right? That wouldn't be fair to his clients at the same time.
Well, and not
He
just
was
that,
just
but
trying
John,
to
you're
take.
going to
He
have
was
the.
just trying to take advantage of me, though.
No, what they were
That's what it
trying to
was. He was
do is what they were doing is they were rubbing you out in favor of somebody else. It sounds like,
yeah, that's what it looks
and that is a discrimination prima facie on the fact if you're favoring one person over another, if you're letting people come in, come out, if you've let a guy do this, do that, and then you're singling out one person that just happens to be different than everybody else in the entire company, you're going to have questions from the state.
Yeah,
But my thing is, I want to see the numbers. You said the books. I want to see the fucking books. I want
Yeah,
to see the
who
numbers.
cares?
You
No, no, no.
said that I
You
was
need to
bad
step
and
back. No,
I
no, no, no,
didn't
no.
deserve that
My
position.
biggest
I want to
advice for
fucking
you
see
would
it.
be this. My biggest advice: stay out of it.
Yeah, you got to
Stay the F out of it. Let the state do whatever. Don't ask the
Oh well,
state. Don't.
yes. My caseworker said that already. He was like, he
You
was
know,
asking me questions. He was like, "What? They did what? They did what?
hey, let me
The
ask you.
EEOC dude? That nigga was like,
Hey, damn. Let me ask you a question.
what?
I gotta get ready to get out of here. So, you ever been fired before? Was this the first time?
No, I definitely been fired for it. I usually just move on. Honestly, I
No,
was
I
trying to think of
just asked
anything
you a question.
other than race.
I just asked you. Not listen. I just asked you a question. Have you ever been fired before? You say yes, right? You've been
Yes,
fired.
yes, I have been let
The
go
reason why I
before.
say
Yeah,
is because you this ain't anything new for you, and experience is a good teacher, and it's better to get it out of your way the first time when you're young. So if it happens to you when you're a little bit older, you know how to deal with
yeah,
things. And I think I heard you say you starting up doing your music, and
more. Yeah, I've been doing it more. I played tonight. I'm playing. I've been playing a lot actually lately.
and that
I've been
seems
hella
to be
busy.
your passion. You get your priorities. Not saying that your priorities are in order, but you may have to reprioritize some things. You may be able to put your passion to the forefront.
That's what everybody says. CT said that. I'm hearing you say it. Stanley said it. The T. Everybody says I should sing and play music and all that shit. But I live in California, man. I live a real life, man. You know what I'm
The
saying?
most expensive state, poor guy. No, look. The thing is this, John. Look, in the end, look, I'm kind of an old school kind of guy. I don't care if somebody in their personal life is racist or has problems like that. But when you get involved with somebody's money, that's just a line you don't cross. And I think
Yeah.
the issue here is that look, like we can sit here and we can both all say the racist shit. We can argue here, but when it gets into real life, like if I did that to if I was discriminatory in real life, like if I didn't hire black guys because I didn't like it, John, that's when the issue comes. Like, you can be bigoted, you can't be racist. There are two different things.
You know what? You know what I think. Before we get out of here, here's what I'll say.
But John, real quick, he relied on me for over 3 months. What the fuck is the problem? Just because I speak up and
He
take up for
wanted to
myself?
abuse you and demoralize you. That's what he wanted to do. And then and
That's
by the time
bullshit, bro.
John's laughing because he knows what I'm talking
I'm
about.
not
And
laughing.
then,
I'm just
no,
like,
no, not laugh. John, what I'm saying is smiling, as in, John, you know what I'm talking about. What they did was,
I'm not sure
because
about.
they were saying this to you, tough guy. They said in so many words, okay, you want to give us shit? We're now going to humiliate you we're going to bring a guy in that we know that you don't like or doesn't as good as you, and then we're going to make you train him and then fire your ass afterwards, and you're going to have to take it. That's
You
what they
know,
said.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
John, if I
But
look
that's
at
what happened, though.
John,
That's
if
what
I'm a
happened.
company, if I'm bringing, if I am you do not bring in somebody with no experience to a position and have a long-term person train that to get rid of the long-term person. John, we talked about this earlier, that experience means more than degrees.
Right, but I think
Yeah.
I think at the same time though,
That's why I
companies.
want to see the books, Imperius.
I think
It
That's why
doesn't
I
matter
want.
about the
I
books.
want
It
to.
matters
Yeah,
about what the company wants to the pain the company wants to go through.
I think at the same time though, and it is what it is, just the way it is. I think companies, don't like people saying I want more money because I'm doing more in a kind of, um, in a fashion of
Yeah, they
like,
were just like, well, you're supposed to be a team player. You're supposed to help us, and
Yeah, but
you're supposed. I
you
don't
know,
know. It's a
I
bunch of
don't think he went
bullshit.
in there and just. I mean, maybe if he went in there and said, "Look, I want more money because you're making me do." I think he probably went in there and was like,
No, I didn't say that.
I
No,
think you were
no, it
probably
wasn't
like,
like
"Hey
that.
guys, I'm doing a lot of work here. I'm
Yes,
training this
exactly.
guy."
And that's why they paid me $1 extra than what
No,
I
John.
asked for. I,
Yeah,
I
John.
asked for more money, and they paid me $1 extra.
And I'm not super litigious, but John, what this now is going to come down to is how much pain that company wants to go through.
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah, they'd probably settle here.
how much pain do they want? Because you're not going to win against the EEOC. You're not. Tesla didn't win against them. Shell
Yeah,
didn't win against them.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
not going to win.
yeah. More likely to be a settlement. Is that settlement? That's usually money or what?
You're not going to get a disclosure. You're going to have to sign an NDA to not disclose how much you get.
But he won't
Number
get his
one.
job back or anything like that. They
Oh no,
won't say.
no, you won't get well, depends. He could get his job back if that's part of the settlement.
All right.
Remember, it depends on what the state could want a settlement that says we want to have state oversight over your company for the next 5 years.
Oh, wow. And give him his job. Wow, that's interesting. Would you
John, I
want?
mean, John, remember
Hold
a remedy.
on,
He could have sued individually and gotten that remedy of his job
hold
back.
on. Would you want the job back if they offered it back to you? If they offered you to manage your job?
You know what? It depends. If there's other black, there needs to be more of a mix of people, and there needs to be more people working because a lot of the times when somebody's out, that puts a lot of work on somebody else. And so
So
I
you,
wasn't perfect at my job. I'll tell y'all this: I wasn't perfect at my job because I wasn't trained well. First of all, I just had to learn quickly because he wasn't there, and then the ladies in the front office took a lot of like the administration type shit until I like really caught on to that. So eventually I caught on to that. It just took me a little while because I didn't know
Yeah, but
nothing.
is there any
He
disciplinary record or inefficiency record on you? Have you
no,
been?
none,
Then it doesn't matter.
never.
Then that doesn't matter. It's what's documented.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it
The
doesn't matter.
only
You
thing
could say, "Oh, I
the only
wasn't,
thing
dude.
they
I'm
wrote
not
me up
perfect."
for, the only
Yeah,
thing
but
they
I'm
wrote
not
me up
perfect.
for, the only thing they wrote me up for is basically they say in five hours you have to take your break. But I would usually work a lot until like my lunchtime. So
No, I get
it's
it.
a
I
law.
do that too, dude.
So
I'm on
they
salary. I
told
get
me
yelled at for
they
that.
told me that you gotta clock out. So they just like wrote like you
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
that you're gonna
That's not
clock
that.
out.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah,
fine.
so it wasn't it was that
Yeah,
was
it
the
had
only
nothing to
thing
do with your
ever.
work, your
Yeah,
abilities to work, or
exactly.
your
And
Yeah.
I never was late. I always came in. I came in even when I was sick. They would be like, "Hey man, you don't look so good. You should go home." Type
Yeah,
shit.
John, and he
That's the
seems like
type
a
of
guy. I mean, John, if he's dedicated like that, like that's John. Look, I'm not perfect at my job. I screw up sometimes. I don't do this shit like everyone does. But what
Mhm.
he's talking about is it looks like they just wanted a way to get rid of him. And if the state is
yes.
thinking that they are looking at one person to try to just put down to hammer to get that itself is discrimination if they're targeting one person, John.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It
Yeah,
doesn't matter if he's this or that. This
right.
isn't even a
Yeah,
racial thing. I think they're going after. They're going after a targeting issue.
right. Yeah, that's very interesting. It doesn't seem to be race there because
It's not. It's a retaliatory issue. I mean, and then what
That's
the
what I
thing
said.
is,
Retaliation.
and what they're going to do, John, is they're going to open everything up, and maybe there is a racial issue, maybe there's a sexual issue, maybe there's an age issue,
oh,
maybe there's all kinds. John, you don't know what you're going to find, and no company wants their books open.
no company wants that. Guys, I got to get out of here. I've given you 6.5 hours. Hey.
Yeah, John, it's 5 a.m. It's time for the gym. It's dope. It was dope time, John. Now I'm ready to lift. Let's go.
2 nights in a row here, guys. Please give me a tip of the hat by hitting the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and share with them.
And tough guy,
John
dude.
is
Hey,
tired.
and tough guy, dude. Just honestly, as just advice, stay out of it. Just kind of kick. Like honestly, what if I were you right now? I'd be applying for other jobs because you might get a double payday and be working right now and get a huge. Because remember, when you get paid out, that is non-taxable.
And focus on
Yeah,
you.
and they have
You're
to
not
pay
going to
me
get
for all the
taxed, dude.
days. They have to pay me. They have to pay me for all the days I have
No,
not
it's not
worked.
even that. Do you know what? Punitive damages are?
Tell them
No,
tomorrow.
with that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Punitive damage is punishment from the court. Punishment from the court for bad activity. And the
Oh
EEOC is
shit.
like an administrative court, so they're going to place a punishing fine on them. Okay, anyways, John, have a
Damn.
good day. I'll talk to you a little later, man. Have a good day, everyone.
All right, Imperius.
Who is John Galt? This question is the first sentence of Ayn Rand's famous novel Atlas Shrugged. This book, published on October 10th, 1957,
violence when, again, our young black
Most
boys,
crime committed by white people.
our young black boys are not the violent ones in America, no matter how much they try to perpetrate it as that. Our young black men are moving forward. The majority of violent crimes that happen in America is 69% committed by white men.
And see,
So this whole idea that white people are safer than us is a lie and is a fallacy that we got to stop. And this is a part of, for me, the black fatigue. Like literally, the FBI put out the stat. It's not me saying it. The FBI put out the stat. 69% of all violent crimes are done by white men.
Yep.
So
And not only that,
we got to stop allowing people to put the jacket on our young black men that all these YNs, black violence, when.
I mean, we need training. Black people need to be.
And we talk about investing, but doesn't investing, where does it start? What's the catalyst of 2053 being a thing, man? Can we change it or is it over? This is fantastic. I read up on it briefly.
John Galt is right. It's over. It's over, man.
I think he's right. I think
it's over, man.
Yeah. There's no pulling back from this because
no.
For every